Hello YouTube, this is Weston at Weston's Toys and Collectibles, and today we're going to be looking at the new Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy Cliffjumper. Now this is a deluxe figure. It's from the deluxe wave of Transformers Earthrise figures. Now I don't have any intention of getting the ones that turn into like the cities or whatever bases, or the new Wheeljack. I think the Generations Wheeljack is perfectly fine in my collection. That being said, this will be, the only other deluxe from this wave other than Hoist that I'm gonna have in review. So taking a look at the box, it's the same, Earthrise packaging that we have seen with the last few. You got the same here artwork, Earth at the bottom, Ark crashing down. Obligatory product shots of Cliffjumper on the back. You have him in robot mode, vehicle mode with his huge cannon on top, and then in his like hydroplaning mode, whatever you want to call that. And here he is, nice artwork of Cliffjumper with his giant cannon. So that's about it for packaging. I'm going to go ahead and pull the instructions out right quick. So he comes with instructions. Yeah. So pretty much showing how, you can store his weapons on him if it's all in separate pieces. The cannon and a shield, and then the instructions from robot mode to his vehicle mode, and then from his vehicle mode with the cannon on top into his hydroplaning mode. So pretty simple. So that's the instructions. They do come with red decoder for the box. I don't cover those in my videos, so I'm not going to go over that right now. So here's the vehicle mode for Cliffjumper, and he is, well, he's not necessarily a deluxe car. I'm going to go ahead and compare him to a deluxe, like a typical deluxe size vehicle. So here's the Titans Return RC. I just had it right here off the side, so you can see, how short he is compared to that, how narrow he is. Very small compared to that. Actually, I can pull out my previous smallest deluxe vehicle figure. That being Transformers Prime Knockout. And you can see, they're about the same length. Knockout's slightly longer, and then Knockout's also wider. So Knockout's just a little bit bigger, and that's crazy to say that because he used to be my smallest deluxe figure. Here he is compared to Legends Windcharger, and you can see they're about the same length. Cliffjumper's slightly taller vehicle, but I think they're about the same width. Yeah. He might be slightly narrower. So as you can see, very similar scale here. And I do want to say this is a smaller car in general. It's definitely going to be smaller than a Toyota Hilux or whatever, or Nissan, whatever it is. I can't remember the exact truck that Hoist is, but Now he might scale better with Grapple than Hoist does, of course, with a smaller vehicle mode. So he does come with some accessories. He comes with this, which opens up like this. It's got some silver paint here on the sides. It folds in half. So it comes with that. It comes with two of these blasters, and they are different. This one has like a peg on the back. This one has a hole on the back. And then they have a tab slot in the handle on opposite sides. And then otherwise they're pretty much molded similarly. And then he comes with two of these, which, you know, they form the bipod for his rocket launcher, or missile launcher. And then they form the front skis on his hydroplane mode. So, pretty cool. So we can go into his hydroplaning mode right now. Basically want to take these ski parts, and they will attach in these slots underneath just by the wheel. So that's that. This part will open up, and it's got 3 connections. There's 2 little tabs here and here, and then the 5mm port there. And the 2 little tabs will go into these little holes here, and then the 5mm port will go into this, or peg will go into this port over here. And so that just plugs in under there nicely, and that kind of lifts the wheels on the back off the surface. And then you want to take this little tab here, or this little slot here on the handle, and put them onto these tabs. You can do this either, you know, facing back or facing forward. The instructions say to make them face forward like this. So, and there's his little hydroplaning vehicle mode. Doesn't have any wheels to roll on, so, you know, it's a nifty little feature from, you know, that one episode of G1. It's nice that that Hasbro's actually including some features from episodes from G1 in these figures. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off, and we'll take a better, closer look at the vehicle mode. So very nice. Oh, I can't remember what kind of car he is, but he looks very much like the car that he's supposed to be, with a few liberties taken. He rolls very nicely. He's got silver paint on all 4 wheels, which is nice, and they are a nice black plastic it's molded in. This whole thing is pretty much, it's all painted. All this red is paint. Black paint here, and black paint here, black paint here, silver paint underneath that. But yeah, all this red that's showing is painted, which makes it look nice. It looks so nice in hand. It's very small, but this feels like, it almost feels like a masterpiece quality figure, similar to the Masterpiece Bumblebee, but at a smaller size and a smaller price point. So like the Masterpiece Bumblebee came out, it was $60. Just about the same amount of paint here, similar engineering. I shouldn't say same engineering, because there are quite a few differences here. But similar engineering, and you know, there's no empty space underneath this figure, except for like in the canopy there, and that's it. That's all the empty space on this figure, and it feels kind of hefty. I mean, it's very similar to how they made him, you know, a large, tall, lanky robot fold up into this little car, and there's very little space underneath. They did the same kind of treatment with Cliffjumper here, and this thing is just covered in paint, just completely covered in paint, and it looks phenomenal. Now, I do wish there was an Autobot logo here on the roof of the car, and we'll get into that here in robot mode, but rolls nicely, like I showed before, and everything's smooth. Even with this peg here underneath, it still rolls nicely. Now, this peg does offer a little bit of playability with, you know, his with the siege effects part, so you know, like have an explosion underneath him, you know, just kind of blasting him up into the air a little bit. I think that's the only one that's on the vehicle mode, so there's not a whole lot you can do with this. Now, the other feature for the weapons or the accessories in vehicle mode is you can build his rocket launcher and mount it on top. You do want to have this handle off to the side like so to do this. And these will plug in like this, so they're straight out. Because there's, you know, it's straight and then it comes down at an angle there. And then this just plugs into the back. I think it plugs in like that. Let me check the instructions again. Yeah. So it plugs in with like the black piece up, or black portion up, and the silver pieces down. And then that just plugs in the top of the vehicle there. And it looks ridiculous, but you know, if you want to display that like that, that's an option. I'd much rather display it in the other configuration where these parts are all on him as his hydroplane mode, but if you'd like to display him with his rocket launcher on top, yeah, that's an option. I'll pull that apart again. So that, I think, pretty much covers the vehicle mode. So yeah, very nice, painted well. I think it's well worth the $20. If you consider, like, you know, you buy one of these Legends, which weighs like half as much, for $10, and then you get all these accessories. And, you know, if these were, you know, third-party accessories, it'd be another $10. So the $20 price point is fine for me on this one. Plus he has, you know, he has 5 accessories. He doesn't have just one accessory like hoist, or just, you know, 3 accessories like grapple, you know, which is a $30 price point and isn't much bigger than hoist. So to transform this guy, it's very, very, it's simple, but it's satisfying. So this it's kind of a bummer, but you know, you have to take the rear section of the vehicle off. I mean, if you want to count that as another accessory, you know, that makes 6 accessories, even though this is, you know, technically part of the robot. You want to pull this peg out here. It can be a bit rough. The peg's painted, I believe. I believe it's painted. It looks like it's painted. Feels like it might be painted. I'm pretty sure that's painted. And then again here you can see, like, this is the color of the paint. And like that's the color of the plastic. So, you know, it's a very similar color, but actually, is that painted underneath too? No, that's just the plastic color. But yeah, it's painted on the outside. So, pretty cool. Anyway, you can come back to this, and basically if you lose this, this is what you get. Let me focus on him again. So yeah, just kind of his hand sticking out the back there. So you go ahead and try to separate this out. There's a little tiny tab under here, and then there's a tab that plugs into the leg. You can kind of get your fingernail under this notch, or if it's easier for you, you can lift the roof up and get these out, like so. Come to the front, and you kind of want to split it a little bit. Again, there's some tabs underneath this panel, and you just pull this down like that. Yeah, go ahead and flip the wheels under, and you can flip the hood pieces down like so. And then this door will come, and this peg here will go into one of the slots on the wheel. So, yeah, just turn the wheel a little bit to little bit to get it in there. So that's one leg. Do the same on the other side. Just flip that back and it plugs into that wheel. And just stand it up right there. And this is kind of messy looking. I'm not gonna lie. But what you want to do now is you want to pull these panels to the side, and the arms do tab in. There's some little slots here, and there's like a little nub on the shoulders. That right there. Okay, see it where my fingernail's at. Right there. On the other side of that effects part, effects attachment point. So you just want to pull those out to the side. You can't really go any further with that while the legs are here. So you just, straighten out the hips and then lift the whole body over. And it's, this hinge in here. So that's where you're at. So now you want to lift these panels all the way up. And this one's a little bit loose on mine. I'm going to, take a little bit of super glue and drop it in there and just kind of move it back and forth until it kind of tightens up. But yeah, it's a little bit loose on mine, so just lift those up. Now, this panel will come down and it will sit inside of his chest, and this panel will come up and lock into place, and it's got, these grooves here that will lock the shoulders in place, sort of. It's not the best connection, but, it'll hold. Then you want to bring the arms down and then bring them down at the elbow. Last but not least, you want to just go ahead and rotate the waist. And there is his base robot mode without his backpack. And I think that's pretty cool. Just do a little rotation here. Very nice. So the head sculpt, very definitely cliffjumper. Can I get it to focus on his face? Yeah, that face sculpt is definitely cliffjumper. I'm so glad it's not just a repainted Bumblebee head. He's got a ball joint in his neck, so he can look up that far. Where is my phone? I'm so terrible at focusing. So, yeah, you can look up that far. Can't look down very far, which is fitting, because, you don't want your cliffjumper to be looking down at anybody. If you wanted, you can bend him over at the hips, but... shoulders on universal, so they go all the way around. Hinge out that far. Rotation at the bicep. Hinge at the elbow. Goes both directions. And then rotation at the wrist. Rotation at the waist, which is nice. A backwards crunch, so if you needed him to look up even further at somebody, you can do that. Let's see, and he can go back that far just due to there's no limitation on that. Hips, full splits, full forward, full backwards, and there's that arm moving out, like falling down on me. So, like I said. So, yeah. Nice. His knees, 90 degrees. A little bit limited, but not too bad. Then his ankles, he can break his ankle if you need him to. If you unlock this, you can kind of get, a foot tilt down. Not really anything up, but that's only if you need that. It's pretty cool. As for this part, you can use it as a shield, so he can, hold it in his hand as a shield. or you can plug it into his back as a backpack. Doesn't look too bad from the front, but when you go over to the side, you know, it just kind of sticks off there. Sorry about the jump cut, but I had to do something real quick. So I think we covered articulation. Now we can just go ahead and cover his accessories. So, you can connect his accessories to him in robot mode separately. So like there's a little tab here that will go into this slot on his shoulder. Just like so. And then these other two, you want to put one of these pieces in each one as like a clip. So you can put them on the same side if you want. So, you know, and he can wield those separately as like twin blasters. It's pretty cool. They are effects parts compatible. So here's some effect parts from Wrong. So, you know, just firing away. This is not effects parts compatible. It's not really a weapon. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to do in this mode. If it's just like a, you know, like a energon pack or something. I don't know. I have no clue what it's supposed to be. Another weird thing about this is it has like this slot here, and it's got the two ridges there. And then this has like the two ridges here, and it fits on there. So I don't know like what was planned with this. If that's just like a means to wield his shield and also have his hands free or something, or what. I don't know, it doesn't cover it in the instructions, that attachment, but yeah, it's an attachment that exists, so kind of weird. I mean, I get that they can't put everything in the instructions, but like that seems so intentional. Like I don't understand why they didn't put it in the instructions. Or unless this is like supposed to be like a weapon itself. And like you can't store it on his back now with that attached, you know, there's no way to store it on his back again. So I don't know, it's just weird that attaches that way. But of course what y'all want to see is the rocket launcher mode. So I'm going to take these and put them both on this one here. So put these on here like this as a bipod. Put this one there, end to end. I suppose if you wanted to do it the other way, you can do it the other way as well. I think that looks a little bit better actually too. And then this one on the back like so. And now I don't know if that's where this comes into play. Like they want you to have this huge bazooka and then also just like attach that on there as well. Or, you know, I don't know. I mean, like that stands kind of perfect. That's like the perfect height to have it completely level. So I don't know if that's what it was supposed to be for. Anyway, he can hold the big bazooka. It just mounts on his arm, and hold it over his shoulder. So yeah, pretty cool. So I do have some complaints about this figure because there are some inaccuracies to his character model. That is, his arms should be gray, not red. So these are black pieces that are painted red, and then these are just molded in red. But if these were at least gray, I think it would have been a lot more accurate. And then these in gray as well. But, you know, red's alright too. I do wish they would have put an Autobot emblem here on his chest. I know why they didn't, because it's not vehicle accurate, but it would have been nice to have that in robot mode as well, because he has a emblem on his chest in robot mode, even though it's not on his vehicle mode. If this were to transform a different way, instead of just parts forming, coming off and reattaching, you know, that'd be nice. And I think that's about it. That's about the only things I have kind of qualms about. So we can go ahead and get into some size comparisons. So I showed him with the wind charger figure in robot mode, or in vehicle mode. So here he is with tailgate, and you can see, you know, he's not much taller. He fits right along with all your current G1 styled Legends class figures, your mini bots. So like here's, you know, Gears, he's a little bit shorter. Hound, or not Hound, Brawn. Brawn's also a little bit shorter. Huffer. I'd like to see a new version of Huffer and Pipes come out. So yeah, there he is with some other mini-bot guys. Just, you know, compared there. Here he is with the earthrise hoist. So you can see he's a fair bit shorter than earthrise hoist. Let's go ahead and raise this camera up. Yeah, so you can see a fair bit shorter than earthrise hoist. Here he is with like one of the typical deluxe cars from the last series. So, you know, he's a large deluxe, he's a small deluxe. I think between the two of them, it's a pretty good, you know, price. Here he is with Grapple. So, you know, you can see how those three are. So there he is compared to Hoist and Grapple. And then I'm going to go ahead and show him with the Masterpiece Bumblebee mold, just to show like a size comparison there. So yeah, the Masterpiece Bumblebee mold, this is my custom glyph that I made. You know, it's about a head taller. Let's see. He comes just under her chin, so yeah, that's pretty much it for Earthrise Cliffjumper. I do recommend him. I do think he's worth the 20, but if you don't believe he's worth that much, you can probably hold off on him. I personally believe he is. So thanks for watching, and until next time, till all are one.